So in our last class, we discussed about like transportation and storage, all these functions of marketing. In today's class, we'll start with processing. So what is processing? Processing is nothing but is a production. Okay, processing, it involves turning a raw materials into commodities that are more preferred or can easily used by the consumers. Like here, example given is like converting a wheat into a bread or paddy into rice. So this is for like edible one. It can be like a, automobile or electronics, where the components are taken from the suppliers, and then it will be converted into a product like a or it can be a car or any kind of motor vehicle. So this whole process, it can be termed as processing or production. So the next one is important function is financing. So financing is what we are, I will give you a profit and money for our day-to-day operation expenses and all those things. So it refers to raising funds. That's funds for capital and funds for day-to-day operation, to start the operation and remaining in the operation, to continue with the operation. So it also refers to the modes of payment for goods and services transfer to the customers or consumers. It is providing necessary cash or credit. In simple words, it refers to getting money that is necessary to pay for setting up and running the business. As I mentioned, for the capital for running the business, and also for the day-to-day operations, and for process law once you take the produce the product and to distribute the customer. So all these things are fund is necessary. That's called operational fund, capital fund, and then operational fund. So loans, while doing operation, if we don't have enough money from our capital, we take loan from the financial institutions, or sometimes we sell stock or pattern, etc. So also involves ways the customer can pay. I mean the revenue for the department. I mean the business. It can be through the credit cards or payable on delivery. Sometimes it's like door delivery. Then we can take the payment from the customer by after delivering in cash. Then the risk bearing. Risk bearing means if it is a business, always there is a chances of having a risk. So so that's the idea. Like a business means a risk. Okay, so we will be having risk from various factors. Okay, sometimes the things get spoiled if it's like a perishable item. Sometimes due to fire. Sometimes it become obsolete. Obsolete means of no value because the technology have changed. Okay, especially like softwares or certain electronic items, like we are like in a smartphone, like we are go from 2G to 3G to 4G, like that. So once we go from one technology to another technology, update our technology, then what happens, the older one become obsolete. So these are some of the kind of risk we may go through in the business. The process of marketing is characterized with lot of risks, such as produce damaging, or sometimes the goods may be damaged during the course of production or during the course of transportation, either from the manufacturing unit, to the warehouse, and from our warehouse to the it goes to the supply chain, thereby it goes to the customer. So somewhere around this transportation, it may get what do you say, damaged. Pilferage refers to the stealing of a employee or doing transportation. So it again, the when someone stole the product, then again it is a loss for the business. Price fluctuation and storage loss. Except price fluctuation here mentioned means when you produce a product, produce a product, the cost of the raw materials are very high. But what happens after the product is produced, then it goes to the market. Maybe sometimes the prices may go down. So what happens, the consumer will feel, oh, the competitors will give you a very better price, competitive price than our product. Then what happens, they may not end up buying in our product. So that also due to price fluctuation, that also is the factor. So that is also a risk. Thus, the risk bearing is assuming responsibility of uncertainty. So we don't know what will happen. So what happens? Again, it depends upon like a social or economical conditions. Say, for instance, our product may be like a luxury product, a tourism. Say now you take into consideration the COVID-19 situation. Tourism is badly affected. So what happened? This is because of the our situation. So nobody wants to travel, okay, fearing that they will they will catch up with the diseases. So what happens, the tourism industry is affected. So these are the some of the risk, okay, which a businessman need to bear. So here in the picture we can see, while transportation, that's maybe during a handling, or we can see down the fruits, which is a perishable one. I mean, the perishable one like fruits, grains, vegetables are highly, what do you say, highly having more chances to get spoiled. And then collision, sometimes accidents while transportation and all those things. Here we can see theft also. So this will give you some clear idea of what are the risks a business need to undergo, okay, doing the business transactions. So hence, businessmen have the capacity to bear the risk. Effective packaging system to protect the produce. Okay, like certain things need to have like say milk, to enhance the, what do you say, the life, shelf life of the milk, or any dairy product. They do the refrigeration, and they do packing with the plastic or bottles which don't leak. So it is not this thing. And then good warehouse for storage of your produce until they are needed. Okay, so if it is produced items are produced in a large quantity, they properly store in a warehouse where they maintain the right temperature. Then effective transportation system and speedily delivery, produce on time. So delivery also, transportation for delivery is also play a very important role in giving the product to the customer on time. So effective production system, diversification, merging, insurance, integration to cater for the price fluctuation, national disasters and theft, etc. So some business also go for like insurance. Insurance means it won't cover everything. Okay, so as a business, you need to decide what is the probability our goods may get spoiled. Is it because of go waste? Is it because of theft? Is it because of natural calamities? Okay, or it's a price fluctuation. So based on that, which is more probable? So what happens? We can we can do insurance for our product. Okay, if something happens, okay, then we can reimburse the money. So that's one of the effective way to safeguard our product. Market information. So market information is very important. So information around the world about the market conditions, whether price movements and political changes can affect the marketing process. That's the market conditions, means the market which we serve, our target market around the world. If we are like our target is like our target market is around the world, then we need to know the condition means whether our demand for our product is increasing or it's decreasing. Okay, do they need any changes in the future of the product? So those things we need to know, and weather also plays a very important conditions. Okay, that's mainly for transportation. Then price movement, that's especially when you're serving a global market, then price is also a very very important factor. That's a fluctuation of us dollar. You may be a business in any country and you are exporting to any other country. Usually the money is used for the transaction is USD, whether you are doing from India to UK or from UK to Australia. So whatever the country you are exporting, or from whatever the country you are exporting from, doesn't matter. The medium currency used is USD. So the USD exchange fluctuates with the local currency. That's very important. If the local currency is appreciating means increasing in terms against the USD, then for exporters it is very good because they will get more money, thereby more profit. But for local people who are doing local business, the money going increasing is not very good. But for exporters, only for exporters, if the money is appreciating, the local currency is appreciating against the USD, okay, it's very good actually. So that is also, price is also very important. Political changes. Political changes means it can be a change of political condition in the country where they are doing exporting, okay, or the country where it is being exported to. Say for instance, the exporter is from India. Okay, sometimes certain items the government banned, like now during the crisis, the COVID crisis, India government banned the export of certain medical things, like what do you say, gloves. Okay, then instrument used to help for breathing and all those things. That this thing, they banned initially. Then the government of US and many, but there are many buyers in US who wants to, import these gloves and other medical accessories. So what happens? So as an exporter of business, you need to see whether there is no any ban or restriction, okay, for the local government, also from the other country from where there it is this thing. Sometimes it not necessary it can be a ban. Sometimes it can be like what you say, there will be a restriction on number of quantity or units. So if they are restricting the units, only you can export the particular item, say gloves only like 10,000, then you have to follow and fulfill the whatever the instruction given by the local government, and also the other country government where our product is being exported. Market information is provided by all forms of communications, such as television, internet, and phone. To get information about this thing, like you can watch news, you can look for a telephone, and all those things. So you can get information from various medias. Standardization. What is a standardization? Standardization means uh, like I mean make every aspect of our product same, okay, similar. Okay, that's called standardization. Yeah, standard is a constant physical characteristics that gives uniformity to a group of product. Like you buy a certain product like the shampoo or soap, a particular brand. Every time you use in terms of what you say moisturizing, in terms of the perfume, in terms of cleaning. So all the attributes of the soap will be similar. That is called a standardization. Okay, in terms of these kind of products is very easy. But when you take a product or services like say from a hotel or a restaurant, you go to a certain small restaurants. What happens? You order any food, say like a dosa. One time the dosa will be very crispy, like light brown in color, okay, large. Other time you go, it won't be very crispy, okay, and then it won't be like, it will be like white in color. So the attributes of the dosa will be little bit bitter, will be changing from one time to another time you visit the restaurant. It's a case of in small restaurant. But if you go to a chain of restaurant, which like a luxury restaurant or something very expensive restaurant, usually the standard they maintain by having a standardization. Standardization means the food will be consistent in terms of crispiness, in terms of quantity, in terms of what do you say, taste, in terms of what do you say, exhibiting the food. Okay, so everything will be constant. So this is called standardization. Okay, so when the uh, chef or cook makes a particular dish or menu, they follow a standard operating procedure, and they have a standardized recipe. The recipe means like making a dosa, they have this how much rice to be included, how much dal to be included, and how long they need to soak, how long they need to grind, after that how long they need to leave it for them to ferment. So how much is the temperature they need to use for making the dosa. So everything like processing from the raw materials to full cooking, they have a standard operating procedure. So that what happens, every time you go to a particular restaurant, you get the same kind of very tasty, crispy, with a nice color, aroma dosa with the dal, chutney, and all those stuff. Okay, so this is called standardization. So mostly the standardization is possible in a very big organization. Small organization is also possible, provided they have proper standard operating procedure. Standardizing is a process of setting up standards to produce goods in a conformity with those standards. Okay, so you don't compromise in terms of including a quality, ingredients, and all those things, and making procedures and all those things. The function of standardization is to establish specific characteristics that produce our product must conform to such a standard, as in having a specific test ingredient, etc., that makes the product brand so unique. That's why many people prefer brand. Why? Because brand, one of the attributes of brand is called consistency. The consistency in terms of the uh, product quality, features, uh, and then the lifespan of the product. So yeah, that's why many people prefer a what do you say, a brand. So the standards are set with regard to the size, okay, size of the quantity or size, a shape, color, design, and the material. Then grading. So grading, as you know, like A quality, B quality, C quality, those kind of steps. Okay, so grading is related to standardizing. Okay, especially grading is very common in terms of edible products. Edible means whatever we eat. Okay, it can be grains, it can be flour, it can be fruits, vegetables, tea powder, coffee powder, those kind of stuff. Okay, so grading comes in when you sort and classify your product into different sizes or quantities for different market segment while maintaining the product standard. Say what happens, usually the exporters in India, say for instance tea leaves. Okay, usually the A grade of tea, which are very bigger in size. Okay, usually they export to foreign countries like UK, US, these kind of countries. And B grade tea, usually which is medium size leaves, okay, they use for the premier brands in India, like the Taj, this kind of Taj tea, this kind of brands they use a B grade. And the rest C grade is comes in other small sachets and packets. So this grade, that tea, if you see, it will be like more very small leaves and powdery form. Okay, which will be like a very what do you say, not very good aroma like the A1. So grading is used to I mean target different market segments. Okay, like in India it's a practice in terms of tea, like I mentioned, A grade they export, B grade they use for premier brands, and C grade for other brands which most of us use. So grading facilitates sales of goods by description, and it avoids lot of botheration involved in inspection, etc. Grading creates good impression in the minds of a buyer because they are assured of a particular standard of goods. So even when you buy dry grapes, okay, dry fruits especially, okay, they have A grade, maybe 100 gram. For A grade you pay like say 30 rupees, and B grade maybe 20 rupees, and C grade maybe 15 rupees, something like that. So according to the quality of the product, the price varies, the packaging and everything varies. So what is the advantage of grading and the standardization? So uniformity between market is provided. Say for instance, our market is a high-end segment. Okay, that means our buyers buy pay premium price to buy our product. So for that particular market, we always give A grade. Then mid segment we give B grade, and then people who look for economy prices, we give C grade. So what happens, depending upon the type of our target market, okay, we can classify the quality. So this will provide uniformity. Okay, high-end segment market is A grade, like mid segment is a B grade. People who are looking for economical price, C grade, something like that. So it gives uniformity. The product of similar grade can be stored in a bulk, like A grade in a particular warehouse or in a particular place, B grade in a particular place, C grade. So it's easy to distribute from there. Market values are better understood in terms of our, I mean, which market gives us more profit, which market is a moderate, and which is a minimal profit. So that is easy to understand. Commodities can be bought and sold without previous examinations. Okay, that's like checking la. So usually we do inspection and check more for high quality product. So standard provides a basis for market reporting and advertising. So depending upon the grades and standards, we can make our what do you say advertisement for our products accordingly. Like what do you say? Certain hotels they have different kinds of segments. Okay, like Hilton they have like one kind of brand for the high end market, medium brand for other end mid range market, and economy for the this thing, okay, for the economical people. So we can also segment our market basis on the economy and grade and standards. So importance of marketing functions. So market functions help the macro marketing system to overcome separations and discrepancies between those wishing to participate in a exchange. Here discrepancy means differences. So setting and communicating the value of products and services. So setting at the right price for the right level, designing, developing, maintaining, improving, acquiring products and services that meet a customer needs. So according to the customer needs, we can design a product, we can develop it, maintain it, and we can deliver those kind of products so that it fulfill the needs and wants of the customer. Then determine the quality manner for consumers to locate and use services and products of the entity. They care for organization budgeting. So this one will help us to budget how much we need to allocate for each market segment. It's a high end or mid range or economy. So depending upon, we also plan our promotions and all those things. So obtain, managing and use information about what consumer wants, improve entity decision making activities and determining what we'll sell. Okay, so the information we get from our different markets will help us to determine the changing needs of the customers and changing political condition, economical condition, price fluctuation. So this will help us to determine which market we need to focus more, which market we can reduce our production or supply. Okay, so the market condition will give you some clear picture or idea to plan our marketing strategy. So good communication with the customers determine and satisfy the needs. So through this communication, which is a very effective communication, we can really understand the customer needs and wants, and we are able to plan properly and then execute our plan, thereby satisfy our customers better than the competitors, and thereby we will get a good profit for the business. So that's all for this chapter.